everyone, this is Tom from Dirk Witte Music Store in Utrecht, the Netherlands. And today we are taking a look at this really cool vintage little Gibson acoustic guitar, a model that we have done a number of times on the channel, but from like an whole range of years. And this one is one of the older ones because this one is actually from 1954. So this is an LG-1 from 1954 in its original sunburst finish. Really cool little guitar. So like the former models or like the previous models that we have done here on the channel, like the previous years, this is part of obviously the LG line, which was first introduced in 1942. And arguably it stands for a little guitar because this is indeed a little guitar. But I don't think that anybody at Gibson has ever confirmed that, but it would only make sense because it is obviously a little guitar. But it is also not that little, so it is not a parlor. It's also not like a Martin size, so it's not a double O or triple O. It's really kind of like its own thing. It's kind of like a shrunken down J45, so you've got a slope shoulder shape. So here on the shoulders they are a little bit more sloped, so not square. But it is not a jumbo obviously because it is quite small, so not that big and deep or wide, resulting in a very unique sound, look, and also just a very nice playing experience. So it's very comfortable to play and to hold. This is the LG-1. You had the LG-0, LG-1, LG-2 and LG-3. So this one is like grade 2, if you will, and that then features the following specs. So an old solid wood construction, so you've got a solid spruce top, probably Sitka spruce, and you've got ladder bracing underneath this top, whereas the LG-2 and the 3, I believe, both got X bracing. So this is kind of like more the traditional / old school type of bracing that then also makes for kind of like an old school sound. So it is not that bassy, whereas the LG-2s and the LG-3s, because of the X bracing, it then goes like so. That then allows for a little bit more low end to be made, but this one gets the more kind of like old school style ladder bracing that then sounds a little bit more mid-rangey and a little bit more boxy, but kind of like in a very cool way. So it definitely sounds like very bluesy and very great for like folk type of music, folk type of stuff. Yeah, ladder bracing, you don't see that a lot anymore nowadays, but ladder bracing was very common way back in the day. You've then got some solid mahogany back and sides. So that is very much kind of like how it is, very similar to like a J45, but then smaller. So spruce top and mahogany back and sides on the slope shoulder body shape. Obviously you got a sunburst top, which looks really cool. Got some very cool vintage patina and mojo going on all over. Again, just looks super cool. Not abused by any means, but you do got some nicks and dings and scratches, lots of finish checking, making this just a real cool, true vintage piece. You've then got some single ply binding around the top as well as around the back. Got kind of like the teardrop shape faux tortoiseshell pickguard, rosewood bridge with a bone saddle, and I'm not 100% sure if this was replaced. I'm guessing so, because this does look quite peculiar or like quite unique. I'm quite sure that this is a bone saddle, but it is very yellowed, and I think that that just looks super cool. Almost looks like if it were made out of a different type of material, but I think that this saddle was then like put on later, and then it like has been aged in order to like get this very cool dark color and dark hue. Also got some replaced black bridge pins, rosewood bridge, don't know if I said that already. And then moving on to the neck, that is a mahogany neck with a rosewood fingerboard. As for the neck profile, that is yeah, it's kind of like 1954 in style, so it is a little bit beefy. It's not as beefy as like 1958 or 1957, but it is definitely on the beefy side. Definitely a C shape, yeah, just plays really nicely, but do know that it is kind of like on the beefy side. Got again a rosewood fingerboard with some mother of pearl dot inlays. And then we have got a bone nut, which I am guessing is 1 inch and 11/16 of an inch. So it is not as wide as the 1 inch and 3/4 that you would see on like Martins and stuff, but this just plays really nicely, plenty of space. And then you've got your headstock with your Gibson silkscreen and your black trussrod cover, and the tuners have been, and then the black trussrod cover, and then the tuners. Those have been replaced by us because these original tuners that came on here, the buttons had just completely disintegrated. They basically just turned to dust, which is quite common to see on these old plastic tip or plastic button style tuners, that just the tips, they just turn to dust. So these have been replaced with some Clusen 3 in a row tuners with the plastic tip. So it definitely looks the part, and it also just fits perfectly in the existing holes, so no modifications there. And then last thing to mention, also comes with a hardshell case, not the original hardshell case, but a quite more modern style hardshell case, which is actually kind of a good thing, because these originally came with like these cardboard cases, which were not that great at doing their job at like protecting your guitar. So it's actually kind of like a good thing that you just get a modern case included. But yeah, non-original obviously. But yeah, that is pretty much all that there is to cover. So another one of the really cool Gibson LG-1s, this one from 1954, a year that we have not yet seen before, and it just plays and sounds fantastic. Yeah, just really that true vintage mojo that you really cannot remake in like a factory with like aging and stuff. This tone really comes from being played in for many years, and you can definitely hear that and tell that. So yeah, really cool, true vintage acoustic Gibson guitar from the 1950s. So let's hear what it sounds like. But first, if you're interested in this 1954 Gibson LG-1, be sure to head over to the links in the description for further details. If you enjoyed this demo, be sure to like the video and to subscribe to the channel for more cool weekly demos of cool acoustics like this, or cool electric guitars, bass guitars even, all of that really cool stuff. Also be sure to like us and follow us on our socials, Instagram and Facebook. Links are also in the description. With all that being said, let's hear what this 1954 Gibson LG-1 sounds like. Going to be playing you some chords and then some finger style playing, so that you can get a good impression of what this really cool small little guitar from 1954 made by Gibson sounds like. So let's move on to that part and let's then take it for a spin.